Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Next Rung Radio, where we help you step into your power one rung at a time. Today's guest is a powerhouse voice, a proud mama, a country hit maker, and a storyteller who's walked through the hard roads and lived to write about it. From singing Johnny Cash at the age of 3.
Before I could talk.
Dang, girl, that's awesome. Age of 3, now dominating SiriusXM's Y2 Country. She has certainly carved her place in the country music with raw honesty and soul. So let's climb to the next rung with my friend, Danielle Peck. Girl, what's going on?
Hey, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Man, it is so awesome to have you here. I feel like we're best friends already because, my producer, Manny, he's probably your biggest fan you got.
Oh, I love Manny.
Oh, he's a great guy. I met Manny in the middle of the Caribbean on a cruise one time. We were doing Proctor Gallagher coaching, and he was there performing and singing, and so we became fast friends. So anyway, it's good to see you.
We go way back, Manny and I, and we have lots of stories that we could share with you too, because he is just an incredible talent, singing, acting, writing, performing, and I know we're going to talk about other things here today. But Manny, if you're good with Manny, and the Caribbean, we didn't meet in the Caribbean.
Well,
yeah,
come on, that's right.
Can I have a redo?
That's right.
We meet Manny in the Caribbean.
Met Manny in the Caribbean. Yeah, he's that's where we were at. Was on a big cruise ship doing our thing, man, and ran into each other, and we had a great relationship ever since. We've been fast friends. I mean, Manny's one of those people that you can just connect with. You know it right away, man.
You know what? It's such a small world too, in this entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
It really looks big and glamorous and all the glitz and lights and stuff like that. But when you come down to it, like all the years here in Music City and in anywhere, like LA, New York, wherever you may have your hub, it's such a small world because once you start meeting the people that you connect with, I mean, connections make more connections, and then here we are.
There you go. I love your singing. I love who you are, and now you're sitting here, and it's incredible for me to have you here, and I thank you for doing it. I know that I kind of heard this came together at the last minute, like this morning, 9 o'clock, we decided to do this.
Anything for Manny.
Yeah. Well, Manny's the man. I mean, I don't know how big his head is. I can see it shining over already because it's getting bigger as we talk about it. Well, I understand you were maybe born in the Carolinas and you live in Ohio or somewhere like that?
Yeah, I was born in North Carolina, Camp Lejeune.
Camp Lejeune.
Exact. My dad's in the Marines, and I then was raised in Ohio. And then I moved to Nashville in 2001.
No way.
So, from 2001 to now 2025, we're talking some time has passed. So this is definitely home. Music City I always knew it was going to be where I lived because every time I would come to Nashville, there was just this energy that I connected with personally, being a singer, a songwriter. It was magic to me. I started making my first trips to town when I was 15.
Wow.
And doing my own demos and things like that. But I always knew I was going to live here. And I always knew, because I never really felt like I fit in. Even growing up with all my friends and stuff like that, I always joke. I said my friends were playing ball and I was playing bars. well, bars, churches, events, fairs, festivals. But, I mean, it's just kind of funny how you find your cliques in your clubs, and you're like, when you're growing up and stuff like that, no one really did what I did or was interested in kind of what I was into. That's songwriting, music, and how I always felt way older than I was in my years, too. Yeah. And I just, I don't know. I just knew that I could get along with all the cliques and the clubs and stuff like that, but no one really understood me until I came to Nashville, and then everybody was like me, and I always knew this would be home.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. I can see with your personality how you could fit along with people, man. That's awesome. So let's talk about this. Your journey has gone from, like you just said, singing in churches to, is that right, sneaking in bars? I mean,
my dad was always like me.
Okay, all right.
So, funny thing, my dad was running the soundboard, and he was driving our makeshift tour bus that broke down in every state. And my brother played bass, and then I had another brother and sister that were too young at the time to hit the road with me back in my teenage years.
Yeah.
But they do music and sing as well. They're just more shy than me. It's funny, like I'm the oldest of four, and everybody's so much more quieter than I am in my realm of siblings and family. And I think that's because I probably never let them get as in word wise. I was always like, entertaining all the time.
So it's 3 of you guys? Or
4 of us.
4 of you. Wow.
2 girls, 2 boys.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's go back to the thing. You're sneaking in bars. We'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Well, sneaking in because, you can't be, a teenager going into bars. But when you have a gig.
Yeah.
Okay, so like my junior or senior, I think it was my junior year in high school. It was so funny. We took a trip up to Cedar Point. Yeah. And that's in Ohio. Right. And it took 3 school buses to take my whole entire class up there. And on the way back after a whole day of of riding roller coasters and whatnot, on the way home, if one bus stopped, all of them had to stop. Yeah. And so when they stopped to drop me off at a bar, which my dad was waiting there for me to go in and play my gig, right? It was so funny because all 3 school buses were stopped and they watched me walk out and go into a bar. I just can't even, I mean, at the moment, I was like, oh, what are they going to think? But who cares? I'm going into a bar.
That's right. You're the coolest chick on town right there, man.
I'm going to go do a show. I'm going to go sing,
That's right.
And it was there to sing. It wasn't, there for anything else. So.
Right. That's awesome. Well, you went from singing in bars to hosting national countdowns to releasing chart top singles. So let me ask this question. So when you look back, what moment felt like a defining next rung for you?
Gosh, there's so many rungs on that ladder. Well, when I first moved to Nashville, things kind of happened pretty quick for me. Yeah. Moved here in 2001. I got my publishing deal in the end of 2002, early 2003. But like everybody does, you got to have a job to pay the rent when you first move to town, right? So I didn't know anybody here. Started waiting tables at this place called the West End Cooker, which is something else now, I think, J. Alexander's. But it's right across the street from the Parthenon. Downtown. And it was amazing to meet so many other waitresses and waiters there that were singing and writing. And heck, if you go to a birthday, if you have a birthday, come to Nashville, go to any restaurant because you're going to get the most glorious choir of happy birthday singing ever because everybody is professional. And, that's the sad thing about Nashville. There's so much talent.
It's incredible.
There's so many amazing singers that never, ever get heard just because of luck, timing, opportunity. There's so many factors in those rungs. But after waiting tables a couple years, I did get my publishing deal, and right before I ended my waiting tables days, I had an impromptu visit from a guy by the name of Scott Borchetta. I was at Virago at the time, and I was ready to not wait tables no more. I was going to go writing songs full time and then get onto my artist thing. And I didn't know who he was, and at the time, the old Virago was right off of Music Row, and a lot of after-hours meetings would happen, after 5, they would all flood in there and have their business meetings with people and stuff like that. And not knowing who he was, it wasn't that I was not polite or anything like that, but everybody started flooding in at the same time. And I was basically waiting tables in the bar and, everybody's sitting at the same time and Scott's standing there. And he's standing there waiting for someone. And he goes, well, I bet you're a singer-songwriter, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, just waiting to be discovered. What do you want?
That's right.
I don't know who you are, but I got some busy going on. And I don't know if he's ever been talked to that way because, at the time, like I said, I didn't know who he was.
That's right.
And I did come back by and I apologized. I'm like, I did not mean to be rude by any means. Here's your drink. I didn't mean to be rude. And I know you have a meeting and whatever. But at the same time, singer, songwriter, of course. Yeah. And I'm Danielle. And we just struck up a conversation and he found out where I was from and stuff like that. But little did I know, after I told my manager and publisher at the time about meeting him, they were like, well, maybe we should set up a meeting and go over, because at the time he was at DreamWorks, which got sold to Universal and then dissolved, and then Big Machine happened after that, which we'll get to that. Yeah. But the week of my last waiting tables days at Virago, his wife Sandy threw him a birthday party, his surprise 40th birthday party. Wow. And he came in with a lot of other folks after the party was over. And it was one of the big round tables in the corner. And there were 5 other guys with him, from other labels and stuff like that. And by the time I knew who he was, and I found out who he was. And then they were coming in and shook my hand and, hey, it's my birthday, have a seat and talk. And I was like, okay, I'll just sit for a second. Yeah. And he's like, so if you're a singer-songwriter, sing a song. Yeah. Well, not right off the bat. He's like, so where are you from? You sing, you've toured, you've done, ABC, and you're writing songs and things like that. But what was so funny, he did put me on the spot. So if you're a singer-songwriter, sing a song.
That's right.
I had to show some guts, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that way before I moved to Nashville, I was singing everybody else's songs from the radio, like a jukebox, and then throwing some of my own originals in there at the same time.
Yeah.
I was like tired of singing everybody else's music. I wanted other people to sing my music too. So I knew I had to make the move to Nashville.
Sure.
So I said, "What do you want to hear?" He goes, "Heads Carolina, Tails California," Jody Messina. Which, long story short, yes, I did cover. Yes, I love the song.
Yeah.
I knew the song. Verse and a chorus, and then he wanted to hear something that I wrote, verse and a chorus. And by the end of the night, more questions and stuff like that. He shook my hand. He goes, "This is my word. We're going to work together." And I'm like, "Happy birthday. I don't know how many you have,
Yes,
but
right.
okay, you have a good one. And I hope, yes, I wish you the best. Happy birthday."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, this is my word. We're going to work together." It wasn't that much longer after that. We were performing for him in his DreamWorks office. And I was signed to DreamWorks first before Big Machine. So I was signed twice by Scott Borchetta.
That's incredible.
Because after DreamWorks dissolved, we had recorded like 16 tracks at Ocean Way.
Yeah.
And then woke up one day to a phone call, good news and bad news. Bad news is there's no more DreamWorks. Good news is you're already signed, don't go nowhere. I'm like, "But I can't tell you anything about it." I'm like, "Well, what am I supposed to, how do I wait? What, you know, what am I supposed to do until something?" Right?
Yeah.
But back to Jody, like that song, just everything, even rungs as simple as foreshadowing the future. She was one of my best friends. I was a bridesmaid in her wedding, and
kidding.
you know,
Were you really?
my story with
Yeah.
auditioning for Scott in a bar with Heads Carolina. You know, she loved hearing that story.
Sure
you know?
she did. That's amazing.
You know, isn't that funny? It's just all of the small world things that happen within this town.
Isn't it funny how it all fits together? You know, of course, that's how I got to Nashville the second time. I was going through a situation in my life and flipped a quarter and said, "Hey, it's Carolina or, you know, Nashville was where I was going to come." So what was I going to do? I was in my early 30s and, you know, so I gotta make a change in my life. So that's why I came up here. No, I didn't come up here to sing because I can't sing at all. But
I never tried flipping a quarter. I've never, I mean, I've sang about flipping the quarter, but you know, next time I might use your trick. Hey.
it works, yeah. Look, you got a 50-50 chance of winning.
You know, hey, good odds, right?
Well, you know, you talked about your songs, especially your own songs that you wrote, and now that you've, you know, had them out in the airways for a while. So your songs have always been, I've been looking for this word to say all day because I've been listening to them for 2 weeks since me and Manny's been talking about you and having you on here. And the only word I could come up with was your songs are so unapologetic that they're real.
But polite?
Well, oh, yeah. They're just real, man. I mean, I just love it.
not necessarily polite. My first song that I ever came out with on Big Machine was their first release to radio as a label, launching 20 years ago now. Wow. I was on a whirlwind ride right now, 20 years ago, getting ready to head out on the road with Toby Keith. And Joe Nichols was the middle act. And that was my very first tour 20 years ago was with Toby. And they're like, let's see if, okay, fish in a pond, right? Let's throw her in the ocean. Let's see if she can swim with some sharks and see how she does. I didn't drown, but the first song I came out with was a little bit of, there was no apology to having to explain too much into detail why I left a bad relationship. But the funny thing about the song Jesus Loves You, I Don't, was in between DreamWorks and Big Machine, I wrote the song. Right. So I did not have it. The first record that I made for DreamWorks, I didn't have that song. I was living the life of the song and breaking up and getting back together, and it was a very violent situation. Just to put it lightly, girls shouldn't date him. Anyway, but when I wrote the song and I took it to Scott, he loved it so much. He's like, "That's gonna be the first single," you know. And I was so excited about having a song on the radio, my very first song, my very first one. I didn't care. I was like so excited, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I heard it the first time on the radio. I'm like, "Now everybody's gonna know what I just went through." But you know how everyone has their own translation to any song. I have heard so many stories from other girls and guys about how that song affected their life.
That's true, man.
leaving an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
How hard it is. One woman came to a show and she waited all the way to the end of, after all the signing, and she wanted to let me know that. And this still really moves me today because I had never known how far you can reach with what pain you go through, how you can help someone else going through something. She had several kids. She was in an abusive relationship. And she said that every time she would leave, she packed up the kids, head to the car, and then get to the state line, realize she's got no money, nowhere to go, and she'd turn back around and she'd head back home. And then it would start up all over again. And I don't know if it was the fifth or sixth time she said, but the final time she crossed the state line without money and someplace to go, that song came on the radio.
No way. Ah, it gives me chills
she
right
said
now.
that gave her just enough to not go back.
Yeah. Amen.
And that just floored me.
Yeah. So see, the amazing thing to me, and I'm not a songwriter, but I got a lot of friends that are and singing and artists, but when you truly write something authentic that reaches out and touches other people's lives, I mean, to me, that's what it would all be like. I mean, I know the stardom and the money and the fame and all that stuff is great too, but just writing a song that saved this woman and her kids.
I've heard stories since about how my debut single had affected other people's lives, but it is something that going through something and then putting it out there, and I really never really talked about who it was in the industry, who or why, or any of those details.
Right.
I put the song out there, and I tried to kind of avoid talking about him. Anyhow. But from there, then there was Finding a Good Man. Isn't that everything?
Yeah.
Bad for Me. We've had a lot of songs out there, music videos, and a lot of touring. And wow, lots of rungs, like I said, lots of good memories. And from there, gosh, I was sing, sing, sing.
Yes.
Now I'm doing a lot of talk, 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 and introducing the whole thing with the talk. So, SiriusXM, this is my 8th year hosting a show on Y2 Country, which is channel 57. And when I first got the call, let's see. So before you can climb some rung, sometimes the rug gets ripped out from under you too, right?
Oh,
you have to
Been there
restart a few
multiple times.
I've had a few restarts. Back when my Ava Jolie, who's 10 now, was just about 6 or 7 months old, I split with her father, and I was like, oh gosh, I have a baby. What am I going to do? Because I was planning on getting my stage legs back and then going back out on tour when I was ready. But when we split, that whole kind of world went, okay, let me just reconfigure things. I got a call from Branson to go out and do a theater show for 6 months.
Did you really?
Yeah. 6 months of just autopilot, really.
Yeah.
Making a living because I'm like, okay, what am I going to do, right?
Right.
So when I got back home from Branson, and things started getting settled down, SiriusXM had called to see if I would be interested in coming on board as a female artist to host part of the show. At the time, they just had Trace Adkins and Buzz Brainerd, and so they needed some maybe estrogen to balance out the testosterone or something. But so they wanted me to be able to talk about all of the artists I've toured with, my friends, the inside scoop on just Nashville stuff from an artist perspective, and it's been a lot of fun sharing memory lane stories and having them on my show, which you can watch on the app too, like with Craig Morgan or Trace Adkins and Joe Nichols and Jody and Daryl. And we've had so much fun over the years with them coming in.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's talk about motherhood, if you don't mind. I mean, you said you got a daughter like 10, 11 years old.
10 years.
Actually,
she
I saw
just
a picture.
turned 10.
Did she really? Look, you just like that, man. I got 3 daughters, 31, 30, or 32, 30, and 20. She'll be 23 in December. And I remember the 5th grade or the 7th grade. And the next thing you know is high school, college, and out the door. And you're like, what the heck?
I'm not looking forward to the teenage years per se. I think I'm afraid. Only maybe because I know what I was like as a teenager.
Yeah. What'd your mom always say? You're going to have a daughter that's going to pay you back, girl.
Exactly. And you know what? I can see how, I'm going to get what I gave.
There you go.
But the funny thing about her is, oh man, she is me to a T on the inside. Her heart is just booming with love for everyone. She is so kind, but she, ever since she was 8, has now started writing songs. And she debuted her first song that she wrote 1 week after she wrote it.
Yeah.
At CMA Fest.
Come
during
on.
an event I was singing at and hosting.
Yeah.
The only thing is she didn't want me to introduce her because I'm her mom.
Yeah,
And
it's
I was-
not cool, man.
But babe, I'm like, babe, I'm hosting the event. I'm singing, but I have to introduce who's coming on.
Yeah.
She's like, well, can't someone else do it? I'm like, okay, big britches.
That's
but
right.
She's never met a stage she doesn't like.
There you
And
go.
she's been a stage stealer. They've been writing her up in entertainment columns ever since Branson.
No
before
kidding.
she could walk. She
That's
was being
incredible.
written up and talked about
Well, I
in
mean,
other
we just
places.
talked about you singing at 3.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I can see where she gets her personality from and her bubbliness and loving the stage and stuff like that, man. That's incredible.
But the good thing is I do know enough to want to keep my girl out of the gutter in this kind of town, especially because I'm going to use the term, well, the analogy, bumper bowling, you know, when
Yeah.
you're bowling with the kid and the bump, like they can go straight, they can zigzag all the ways, but you can keep them out of the gutters.
Yes.
You'll at least hit something down the pike. I'm not going to push or pull.
Right.
Because as soon as I push, she'll pull and vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Reverse psychology, whole thing. So I'm just going to let her love music.
Yeah.
Just watch how. I mean, but she's got the it thing.
got it.
She's got the it
She's
thing,
got it.
and
I saw the
Yeah.
picture of her on stage. She's got it.
she's all
Amazing.
About it. Yeah,
That's incredible.
scares me to pieces.
Well, it should, because she's going to be a superstar. I can feel it.
And
I
I'm
can
not
see
that
it.
stage mom. I'm not going to be like, okay, you've got to be here, you know, do these things. It's
Yeah.
no, if it's something she wants, I will always boost and help.
Sound like it's part of her DNA. I mean, she started writing at 8, you know, and doing these things.
I
and
started at
singing.
like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
No, but maybe 12, 13, something like that. Yeah,
Right.
8's an earlier start.
It is.
than
That's pretty
me.
young, man.
And she's had stages ever since she was 3. Yeah, she's been on stage ever since.
So let's talk about that. What truths are you most passionate about that you could share with somebody today? If you talk about
What
that.
truths?
Yeah, what truths?
What truths?
I mean, we just talked about the city and keeping your daughter straight, and you know what you've
Yeah.
been through with this. And
Well, there's no easy way to get anywhere.
yeah, that's true.
It's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of passion. You got to pour your heart and soul into it. And a big truth that people, it's hard to understand if they're coming from a small town and they're writing music and they love music and they want to be a singer. It's not all the glitz and the glam that they see on billboards and the TV and stuff. That's all, you know, beautiful. But it's not a
Yeah.
world of princesses and princes and just being taken care. You know, there's a lot of hard work. So much hard work that people do not see going into it. But I love the work. I loved 24/7.
Yeah.
I liked falling asleep. I learned how to take naps on planes. You know, falling asleep before you take off, and then by the time you're landing, you're like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be now. What station? What city? What state? What show?
Where I'm at.
It was really something. You sleep, you know, and if you have a couple of days where you're like, I'm bored, what's going on? You know to rest because that's the only time you're going to get to rest. So you kind of got to battery charge yourself a little bit and like know that it's going to swamp up again as soon as you get going. So save up the energy while you can.
So what's your mantra? What's your mindset that brings you up when you sleep in? You're tired. You've been going, and now that you got to get on
Usually, oh my
stage.
gosh, what time is it? I got to get my kid to school.
Wait, I'm
No, my mantra. My mantra. I guess it would be to wake up and try to authentically be who I am a little more every day than I was the day before. Because I think as an artist, entertainer, you can also get tripped up in the world of what you see on socials or whatever people are saying and things like that. And that's never good to go online and see what people are saying.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's good or bad. You can have 100 great things and one bad thing, and then you just hold on to that bad thing. You're like,
Yeah.
why did I
Why
win
did that
them
person
over?
not? Yeah.
I got to win them over.
Yeah.
Why don't they like, you know? Anyway, it's funny. Not everybody is going to like you. Some
That's
will,
right.
some
Yeah,
won't.
yeah.
But you know what? They're going to like someone else. That's what music and genres and everything's all about. You know, you just be who you are.
That's right.
Put yourself and project who you are out, and the people that connect to you will come.
That's right. And there will be people that connect to you. The energy that other people have, like the one person you're talking about or whoever that is, they don't need to be there. That's right. So let's get back to the truck.
Yeah.
So you've had major label highs, you know, in industry.
Highs and lows and everywhere in between.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it industry detours. I had another word here, but I marked it out. So And now the national performance of SiriusXM Radio, like we talked about at Y2 Country, which is amazing. This is what I'm going to do from now on. From 3 to 6, I'm going to have it on and tell all my friends. It's my friend right here. I know her. She's part of the family now. Look. It's part of the Next Rung family.
What's so funny, though, back to when SiriusXM was calling me, my biggest fear was talking.
No way.
Talking. Like I would sing hours and hours and hours, but if somebody broke a guitar string and I had to fill just a minute or 2 minutes of time, I would rather eat both my feet and crawl under a rock and die. I was sent to media training so many times to try to be comfortable in my own skin and, learn how to not tell those dorky, corny jokes. I think I've gotten there, but, it was so funny that when I got called, I was like, okay, single mom. Oh my gosh, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life now because this is when Ava was just a baby. I said yes to the job. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, yes. They didn't know my biggest fear was talking.
That's right.
I'll figure this out. But I got to tell you, SiriusXM has given me the ability to feel the comfort in my own skin.
Yes, that's
to be
amazing.
who I am. Mm-hmm. And now when I do a show on stage, I think I talk just as much as I sing, which could be a problem. Less songs, more talk. I don't know.
That's right. Well, the first thing I had to learn about speaking was the silence. Got to be comfortable in silence. Yeah. And there was a young lady back in the day that helped me with this. And what she would tell me is she would say that silence is good. But, when you have silence, like 3 seconds of silence in a meeting or on the radio, it's like a lifetime.
It feels a whole lot different.
I mean, you could break out in a sweat in like 3 seconds.
You're breaking out in a sweat going, oh, what did I just say? Where was I going with that? I forgot my train of thought. I thought,
what was I going to do there? So anyway, back to the SiriusXM. So your initial mindset, what actually helped you stay grounded? Because you didn't know how to, you're talking with your fear. Now you made it. Now you're here. So what kept you grounded? And what advice would you give? This is the main thing I want to talk about. Any artist that's struggling to keep going through the waiting session. Because, we're in the overnight success 10-year town. So, everybody's going to come here and it's overnight success. But like you said, the work has to be done.
The
waitressing,
the everything, and the hard work that goes in even after you get it.
That's right.
The wait. I would say that there will always be a time for wait. Mm-hmm. And if you are confident enough in yourself, which we all have our confidence issues. As a female, we're all insecure at some point here and there. As a girl, I mean, you're a guy. We can go on for days about that.
That's a different show.
The wait is there for a reason.
Yes.
You might not see it until you look back.
That is excellent advice.
But the worst thing you can do is power plunge your way, taking the bull by the horns and making it your own way. Sometimes when you just kind of charge your own path and things aren't streamlined the way they should be,
right,
you will make a mistake and you will get off track or hit a spot where the rug gets ripped out from under you and you're not ready, to keep going forward. Or you become resilient, with a big old bouncy bottom and you just bounce back up and keep going. Yeah. But there will always be a wait at some point in time and there will always be a reason for it. And so for any artist that is either coming to town or moving to town or in the middle of being here and just there's a wait going on, stay true to yourself and your passion and just keep the faith. Yeah. You
got to keep the faith, man. What I tell you earlier, faith first, proof second. Yeah. You've got to make that walk. And I think a lot of people do struggle with what you just said because...
we're in a society, though. It's like, hurry, hurry, go, go, go.
Oh, yeah,
how
absolutely.
Many streams, how many everything.
Yeah. You've been in Nashville 6 months. You ain't made it yet?
And then your family's calling from you're going to move there to be some big deal.
That's right. Thought you're going to be successful. You're going to be a famous songwriter one day. Yeah, I know. I don't do anything in music as far as playing and singing, but in businesses that we've started and owned and sold and changed and moved, and it's the same thing. I mean, you can be. We've had several successful businesses, and then we did another one and just thought it was going to be knock it out of the park, and it's like, oh my God, what the heck's going on here? But there, like you said, the silence or the time lapse was for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I always say it's so you can build your character up to what you prayed for, what you asked for, where you can be that way. So,
yeah, that is so true.
Cool. Your voice. This is the most. I'm getting chills thinking about it incredible for us today. And, you people in the industry talk about your voice, especially Manny and other people like that, of how it is. It has that smoky grit cut through. And that's amazing to me.
Oh, thank you.
But after reading your story, it was even more powerful. So let's go back to what people listening, because there's thousands of people listening here, and there's got to be some young lady or some young man out there that's trying to get into the business or in a business, do something else. So if someone's listening today and they feel stuck on this bottom rung, or they just doubting themselves, we talked about that. People do this all the time. What would you say to them to make them rise? What would you say to them that they're sleeping on their friend's couch, they're waiting tables, they're trying to meet the guy, they're trying to do this, and it just ain't working?
Surround yourself with others like you, because you will feed off of each other's creativity.
Yeah.
Don't surround yourself with negative people who want to bring you down. If you're already down, that's not going to do any good for you.
Right.
Get out and about. Networking is everything. Friendships is everything. Once you get a core group of just a few friends in this town that are like you, doors will start opening, and you'll meet other people, and you never, if you just say yes to opportunities that come your way. You don't have to say yes to everything, but when it makes sense and it's a positive thing where I guess you don't know until you go, but put yourself out there. Take a chance on yourself. And if they need to get up off the bottom and up to the next rung, the things that inspire them to either write music and create or makes them who they are, makes them happy, do more of that. Yeah. Because that is what feeds you.
That's right. Well, what's the old saying? Tell me who you're hanging around with. That's what a man told me when I was in business. He said, if there's 5 millionaires in the room, you'll be the 6th. He goes, if there's 5 losers in the room, you'll be the 6th. So hang out with the people, like you said, surround yourself with people that have that energy that you can feed off of, that you can...
and you can support, too, because you are for them who they are for you. Like, you feed off each other. You support each other. Your teams, you're cheering each other on. Yeah. You need those kind of friends around. And whether it's the work environment or just family or whatever, you can never have enough support and love and just positivity.
That's right, man. Well, I read this. I was in Orlando this weekend at a place called a Clean Show. We own a laundromat also. And so got in this guy's car, and it had stickers all over it. Everywhere you looked, it had little sayings. It was all, inspiring and all that stuff. And there was one sticker that says, your energy introduces you before they see you.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. That is so true.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. It's so true. You can see body language or energy when people walk into a room. Yeah. You totally, absolutely can.
See, that's what I always wanted to be. When I walk into a room, not arrogance, but I walk into a room, I want people to know I'm there because I'm there to support you. I'm there to help you do whatever you need to do in life and where you at. And, anybody can be down. Anybody can be negative. It takes work to be successful. It takes work to get up every day and go, man.
And sometimes it takes work to be positive when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, Yeah. It's different for everyone. But.
It is. But I tell you what, the first thing you do in the morning sets your day, man.
Absolutely.
Sets your day. When I was going through my whole change 20 years ago, it was about, I woke up and it was wrote on my wall. It was wrote on my ceiling. I would go in the bathroom to shave and I had stickers all over the mirrors. And I mean, it was a chore or a job because I was just like you. I'd went through a bad divorce. I don't know if you went through a divorce. I'm just saying I went through a bad divorce, lost a couple of businesses, went bankrupt, was broke. I mean, look, I didn't have $20 in my pocket. Matter of fact, I was living in my truck for a little while. Like most people's got the same story. However, I met a friend that gave me some advice. So I listened to it. I met another friend, like you said, you start meeting people when you're there, that gave me some advice, and I listened to it. And so those ladders, rungs that we climb, that's why we talk about, the next rung radio, because where you at, where you going? Everybody in life has a ladder to climb.
We all do.
So where you at on your ladder? That's what we want to help people do and understand.
I've been up, down, in the middle, falling over, back up, with all the years of touring and singing and writing, and then all of the years of just talking and stuff like that. Like these last couple of years have been just a little bit of a reset where I'm now introducing shows again. Not like touring like I used to do where I'm in a different city, sometimes 2 a day or whatever. Wow. With a kid, it's a lot different.
Yes.
And when she's on board, she wants to be a part of the show, everywhere I go. Gosh, these days, I'm more selective, I guess, and
Yeah.
if it makes sense, and full band or acoustic or wherever, yeah, I'll go play.
That's
play. But another cool thing about SiriusXM
Yeah.
is whether I'm in Canada, Mexico, Portugal, or my grandma's house,
Yeah.
I've got some show on the go gear.
No way.
Where I can take my show on the road,
That's awesome.
and if I was doing a show someplace, whatever night, and I could do it. I wouldn't be doing my show live from the stage, of course. There's
Sure.
two separate things,
Yes.
my live show and then my SiriusXM show. But I like to do where the heck is Peck? I'll talk about where I'm going to be and you can guess. And then when I show up, I'll tell you. And then I have a show, So it's a lot of fun too. Hosting events and festivals and doing my SiriusXM show and then playing a lot more shows these days too. That's my next rungs. I'm just kind of, I'm not at the top, but I'm not at the bottom.
Right.
And I'm always looking up.
There you go.
I'm always looking up. So no matter what rung I'm at, I'm always looking up for the next one.
Yeah. Well, that's what we tell people around here. You got to keep climbing. You just got to keep climbing. You got to wake up every day and move forward. So, Danielle, we're about to wrap this up. And before we do, let's talk about the show you had several weeks ago with Big Music. I know it was a busy, busy week for you.
Big Machine Records turning 20 years old. Celebrating 20 years was a highlight of my story, of my life, of being a part of something that is so, you know who Big Machine is,
That's
and
right.
you know the artists on there. Cheryl Crow, Riley Green, Brett Young, Carly Pierce, the band Perry, Rascal Flatts, Jack Ingram, so many artists
Yes.
from the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
We're all on one stage and just celebrating, toasting to 20 years. It was quite an event, and I was very honored to be the flagship female from Big Machine Records, that with my very first song, Jesus Loves You, I Don't, coming out and opening it up. It was just amazing.
That's so cool, man. I know it was amazing to be there and see what you've done and all that kind of stuff and be where you are. So as you get in, here I am. You got something I can chew on? So
What language is that?
it's not Portuguese. So while we're talking about that, wrap this up with telling people how they can get in contact with you, what they can follow you on, or where you're at. And I'm sure you're on every social media.
Social media, it's at Danielle Peck Official. You can find me online, social media. I'm still working on that TikTok thing. I've got a TikTok. I just got to make it talk louder.
A TikTok to make it talk louder.
I got to make it walk. I can talk it. I got to make it walk it now. TikTok walk.
Yeah, there you go. That's what Manny tells me all the time. You got to do this live. I'm like, I forgot. I don't know
I'm
what to
awful at it. I'm awful at social media. I'm trying to get back into being more present.
Yeah, well, I'm awful at it too, but because I don't really know how to start it. Once I get started, I'm good.
You know what the thing is? There's always a brand new platform coming out too.
Yeah.
And once you learn one, then there's another one, or the next new thing. The next thing is like, what? There's 100 or more.
Yeah.
It's like, pick your place.
Pick your place and let's do it.
People are going to go everywhere to find everything, and it's just like, man, there's just not one nutshell to go to. It's just all over the place.
That's right. So tell them again.
At Danielle Peck Official.
There you go.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Oh, X. I'm sorry, not Twitter.
And not TikTok for sure.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
more TikTok.
Maybe
soon.
Maybe
More
soon.
TikTok.
Okay. Well, Manny can help you.
I need some help.
Okay, guys, as always, we thank you for joining us on Next Rung Radio podcast, where we help you climb into your power one rung at a time. And look, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go out and to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast so we can continue to have amazing guests like this beautiful lady right here on our show. And you can keep up with our latest episodes that we have. So as we always say, keep climbing. We'll see you on the next one.